Hello, this is Sarah with Posh Pooch Designs, and today's project is this fun little pilgrim hat. It only measures about 3.5 to 4 inches depending on how tight you stitch, and it's so much fun. You can put this on your dog or cat, you can put it on your American Girl doll or a stuffed animal, or you can use it in your holiday decorating for Thanksgiving. It'd be fun to set these as place markers. When you have people over, you could set it on the plate and put a little tag that has their name on it. It's just a fun little project, and it's made out of worsted weight yarn, and you can find this on my blog. It's just called the Pilgrim Hat Crochet Pattern, free pattern. So all you need is some worsted weight black yarn. We're going to be using this Red Heart Super Saver today. You need a little bit of white and a little bit of yellow. Not much, because you're only doing one row in white and then the buckle in yellow. The rest in black. We're going to be stitching with our H hook today. You'll need a needle for sewing on the buckle and weaving in your ends, and also a pair of scissors for cutting those yarns. So let's go ahead and get started. I think you're really going to enjoy this project. And so to begin with, we're going to make a slip knot. Alrighty, and then we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to place 8 double crochets in the second chain from the hook. Now, just in case you don't know what a double crochet is, you yarn over, go in the stitch or chain and pull a loop through. You'll have 3 loops on your chain, on your hook. Yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over, go through the second 2. And we're going to make sure that we have 8 double crochets. Now I did the chain 2 and 8 double crochets because I felt like doing a chain of 5 or so and then making it a, stitching over I thought that made it a little too bulky for the top of this hat, and so I decided to go this route, and I think it works just fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One more is 8. And I know the black yarn is a little bit hard to see, so I'm going to try to go a little bit slower just so that we can see what's going on. So we did 8 double crochets. We're going to join to the top of that first double crochet with a slip stitch and chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we have 8 double crochets. For row 2, we're going to place 1 double crochet in the same stitch as our chain 3, and that will count as 2 double crochets. And then we're going to place 2 double crochets in each double crochet around, and this is going to make the top of our hat nice and flat. So we'll go from having 8 double crochets on row 1 to having 16 double crochets on row 2, or round 2. We are stitching around. Row 1, we had 8 double crochets. Row 2, we have 16 double crochets. And for row 3, we're going to do 1 and 2. And what that means is our chain 3 counts as 1 double crochet. So then in the next double crochet, we're going to place 2 double crochets. Then in the next double crochet, we're going to place 1 double crochet. Then in the next double crochet, we're going to place 2 double crochets. And so around the hat, we're doing 1 and 2. 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets. 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets in the next double crochet. 1 and 2. 1 double crochet in the next double crochet, 2 double crochets in the next double crochet. And we'll do this all the way around for row 3. And this will give us a total of 24 double crochets. I joined to the top of my first double crochet, and now I'm going to chain 3. And for the next rows, we've done row 1 through 3, and row 4, 5, and 6, we're going to place 1 double crochet in each double crochet around. And now we're working down the sides of the hat. So 1 double crochet in each double crochet around. And we'll do this for 3 rows. Again, 1 double crochet in each double crochet around, join to the first, you're joining to the top of the chain 3, and then chaining 3 for 3 rows, rows 4, 5, and 6. So we finished rows 4, 5, and 6, and now it's time to add the hat band, which is this white band around the hat. So do not cut off your black yarn. We're going to leave that attached and just set it aside, and we're going to join in our white yarn. Snug that down, and then we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to do like we did in rows 4, 5, and 6. We're just going to place 1 double crochet in each double crochet around. And this will give us a nice hat band for around our hat. And again, this is worsted weight yarn. Like I said, worsted weight number 4. We're just doing white. You could do gray or an off-white. Any of those colors would work just fine. We just want a light contrast to show that our hat has a little hat band around it. So 1 double crochet in each double crochet around. One double crochet in each double crochet around for our hat band. So now I'm going to cut off that yarn. Just had a little left anyway, didn't I? All right, now we're going to join back in the black yarn. And I like to do it that way when I'm just changing colors for 1 row or 2, because it makes them much tidier in the back inside the hat. Not that anybody's going to see it, but also it's one less thing I have to weave in later. So we're going to chain 3, and then we're going to double crochet in the same stitch as our chain 3. And we're going to begin making the brim of our hat, which is this part here that's going to stick out. And so the way this row is going to work, we're going to place 2 double crochets in the first stitch and 1 double crochet in the next. 2 double crochets in the next stitch. And 1 double crochet in the next. And this is going to give us a nice flared out hat brim. Not really sure which way it's said. It doesn't matter, it's still really cute. And you can see as we're stitching this row that it's already starting to lay out. And it really is nice because you can take your hat and set it on that brim. All right, so we're going to stitch 2 double crochets in the next double crochet, and then 1 double crochet in the next double crochet, and we'll do this all the way around our hat brim. So there's that row. The last thing that we need to do is we're just going to stitch a single crochet edge on our hat just to give it a nice smooth edge like this one. And so what we're going to do We're going to chain only 1, and we're going to place 1 single crochet in the next 3 double crochets. And just in case you're not sure what a single crochet is, you go through your stitch and pull up a loop, yarn over, and go through both those loops that were on your hook. So, and then we're going to do 3 of those, 1 in each of the next 3 single crochets, and then in the next single crochet, the next double crochet, we're going to stitch 2 single crochets. And this just helps it move around the brim of the hat so it lays nice and even, and it gives you a nice edge to set your hat on. It just makes the edge nice and smooth, I think. 1, 2, 3 single crochets, 1 in the next 3 doubles, and then in the 4th double we're going to stitch 2 single crochets. And like I said, this just helps the hat have a nice smooth edge and also makes it sit up nice and tall for decorating, or even for playing with for that matter. 1, 2, 3, and then 2 single crochets. Finished our hat. We finished the brim, and when we got around back over where we started our single crochet, we joined with the slip stitch, and then we tidied it up, weaving in our ends. Now I kind of pushed the top of the hat down so that it looks a little bit more like a top hat. That's why we wanted the top flat. And all it needs now is this cute little buckle. And so you just need a little bit of yellow yarn. Let's move those over so you can see what I'm doing. You're going to need to make a slip knot and leave yourself a little bit of a tail, because we're going to need that to sew it together. And we're going to chain 13 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. We're going to begin stitching in the second chain, 1, 2, and we're going to place 1 single crochet in the next 2 chains. And then in the third chain, we're going to place 2 single crochets. 1, 2. Then in the next 2 chains, we're going to place 1 single crochet each. And this is going to help us curve to make our buckle. So then the third single crochet from there is 2 single crochets. The next 2 chains, we stitch 1, 2 single crochets, and then in the next chain, we're going to stitch 2 single crochets. And you can see it's slightly curling a little bit to make our buckle. Then we're going to stitch 1 single crochet in the next 2, and then 2 single crochets in the last chain. 1, 2. And here's our buckle. And what we'll do is we'll put those like that. We'll join our last single crochet to the first single crochet. I'm going to pull mine through since I didn't have a whole lot of yarn left on there. And you'll notice there's a little bit of a gap there, and so that's why we needed this tail. We'll put that on our needle, and we'll just sew that just like that, so it kind of closes that gap. And I always make a couple of stitches just so I know it's going to stay put. And then that's all. And by doing that, we also tidied that edge up so we don't have to weave that stitch in. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and thread the other end. You're not going to need as long of a piece of thread as I have here, so I'm going to cut that off. You only need about 8 or 10 inches, because we're just going to tack this on to the front of our hat. So here's the front. We're going to put our buckle on, and we're just going to stitch it down. There we go. Let me move my thumb. And what I do is I kind of follow the inside of that and just give it a few stitches. It's up to you how many stitches. If you're going to be giving this to someone so they can play with on a doll or a toy, Make sure you give it lots of stitches. If it's just a decoration, just enough to hold it in place. But if you stitch around the center like what I'm doing here, there we go. Oh, drop my needle. Just going around those edges, it will stay put for you. Just check it, make sure it's, there we go. And there it's on. I'm just going to weave that in back here. I'm going to go back the other way. And then clip that stitch. Alright, so there is our little pilgrim hat. Perfect for playing with, perfect for decorating with, and just plain fun. So have some fun and make some little pilgrim hats. And remember, November is the month to be thankful. So remember to have a grateful heart and to be thankful.